Today we'll be going through how to master Malaysia's MUET listening exam. Hey everybody, what's going on? I am the founder of Isekai Solutions, and today I'll be giving a presentation of how you can excel in your listening exam. So why should you listen to me anyways? So even though I can't take the MUET exam for you, but I'll try my best to help you since I have gone through the GCE Cambridge exams in Singapore. Basically basically I'm somewhat qualified to help you guys. So if you don't believe me, here's the proof. My English is an A. Yeah, so that means I'm not lying to you guys. Alright, next. So we need to understand the format of your listening exam. So this is from Google, if I'm not wrong, that the MUET listening test lasts for 15 minutes. You listen to 4 audio recordings twice, and there's 4 sections within. There's 4 parts. There's a multiple choice section, a short answer section, crisscross matching, and then there's like a note completion aspect of it. So if you do not know what's the format, this is it. It could be updated in the future, so always go to Google, check it out, what's the latest format. But as of right now, this is it. So how do you actually do well for your listening exam? So before you even start to listen to the passage, there's this concept called the pre-listening power, which means that before you start to listen, you should read first, right? You should read the instructions carefully and look through the questions first to identify the keywords, right? Underline them and make sure that when the speaker starts to say the passage, that way you can take note of the keywords, and there's a higher chance that you can pick up the correct answer quicker than if you have never skimmed or underlined the keywords. Next one would be the active listening techniques. It's pretty straightforward. You should always focus on the key information. Do not focus on every single word that's said by the speaker. Listen for synonyms and rephrase ideas. So these answers might not be worded exactly in the question. What do I mean by this? Is that there are some questions, usually this happens in Cambridge exams, but they might be also implemented in your listening exam to differentiate who will get the better grade, right? There will be a proportion of people who will do well, and there will be a proportion to not do well, right? So they're trying to see who can understand it better, right? So the synonyms and rephrase ideas, I would say this is a bit more advanced. They will test you on, they will change the word and try to provide a similar word, right, to the passage. I'll give you an example soon. Next would be to take notes using the abbreviations and symbols. Sometimes the speaker will speak really fast and that you do not have time to actually write down the word itself. So try to use certain symbols or like draw something so that you can easily remember it quicker. Like just do a sketch, right? So for the first listening portion, you need to gather information, right? Do not worry about trying to write down the answers immediately, right? Because it's played twice. And you should always concentrate on understanding the message and the key details, right? The overall message meaning that what is the speaker talking about in the first place. Basically, you're talking about the big idea. Last point is that to use notes to capture important points, the names and dates of these places, which is going back to the previous point. When you write certain notes, when the speaker speaks again, which is the second listening, you should refine and answer the questions immediately, right? To confirm your notes and to fill in any gaps, and to check your answers and make any necessary corrections, right? So don't change your answer unless you are certain that the newer choice is better. This often happens during my time when I took the Cambridge examinations, is that you will start to doubt yourself because you will think that I've made a mistake. You think you have made a mistake, but it's actually you did not make a mistake. You chose the right answer. But when you try to listen again, you will think that you made the wrong answer. But it's actually you got the right answer in the first place. So this usually happens in the second listening, so be very careful. Do not doubt yourself, right? Be absolutely certain that you know you got the right answer, right? So that is all for the tips and tricks. There are many people out there that often give certain tips and tricks for this kind of MUET listening examinations, usually by tutors or teachers. You have to basically pay for a lesson to do this. Yeah, so I'm offering it for free from a person that is somewhat experienced in this. Basically, a person who went through these exams before on this Singapore/Cambridge level. I will give a sample. It will not be exactly like what you're tested in the MUET exam, listening exam, but it will at least help you to train your listening and understanding skills, right? So without further ado, let's try it out.
In a recent interview, renowned author Amara Khan spoke about the complexities of love in her latest novel, Tangled Hearts. Love isn't always sunshine and roses, she explained. Sometimes it's about compromise. You have to be willing to meet your partner halfway, even if it means giving up something you enjoy. Khan went on to discuss the importance of communication in a relationship. Healthy couples talk to each other openly and honestly, even when things are tough. Bottling up emotions can lead to resentment and ultimately the breakdown of the relationship. However, Khan emphasized that love can also be incredibly rewarding. There's a reason why love stories have captivated audiences for centuries, she said. True love brings immense joy, support, and a sense of belonging. It can inspire us to be better versions of ourselves. 1. What is the main topic of Amara Khan's interview? A. The writing process. B. The importance of compromise in love. C. Promoting her new novel. D. The dangers of bottled-up emotions. 2. According to Khan, what is not always true about love? A. It requires effort from both partners. B. It brings only happiness and joy. C. It can inspire personal growth. D. It involves open and honest communication. 3. The phrase sunshine and roses is used to describe A. A challenging relationship. B. A picture-perfect romance. C. A lack of communication. D. The feeling of resentment. 4. What does Khan suggest can lead to the breakdown of a relationship? A. Open and honest communication. B. A willingness to compromise. C. Bottling up emotions. D. Prioritizing personal interests. 5. Why does Khan believe love stories are so popular? A. They offer a sense of escape from reality. B. They highlight the dangers of unhealthy relationships. C. They showcase the power of true love and connection. D. They promote the importance of compromise. 6. What is the implied meaning of meeting your partner halfway? A. Agreeing with everything your partner says. B. Finding a balance that works for both of you. C. Prioritizing your own needs over your partner's. D. Avoiding difficult conversations. 7. Which word best describes Khan's overall view on love? A. Pessimistic. B. Realistic. C. Superficial. D. Overly sentimental. 8. In the context of the passage, belonging refers to A. Feeling financially secure. B. Having a sense of community. C. Knowing you are loved and accepted. D. Sharing similar interests with your partner. 9. What is the likely audience for this interview? A. Aspiring writers. B. Relationship experts. C. Fans of Amara Khan's novels. D. The general public interested in love. 10. Based on the passage, which statement would Amara Khan most likely agree with? A. True love requires no effort. B. Communication is key to a healthy relationship. C. Love should always come easy. D. Compromise is unnecessary in a strong relationship.
So how was the sample? I hope you got majority of the questions correct, because I would say that this is on the scale of 1 to 10, the difficulty of this is a 5. This is a pretty short passage, so yeah, we'll be going through the sample listening passage. Right, so this is the sample listening passage. This is the listening passage. If I'm not wrong, your listening passage will be slightly longer than this. This is a shorter version, because it is a sample. But it tests you on your listening skills and a bit of understanding and inference skills. So without further ado, let's go through the questions. So the first question is talking about the main topic of Amara Khan's interview. So there's 4 options: the writing process, the importance of the compromise and love, the novel, and then the dangers of the emotions or whatever, right? So here is the answer to the first question. The first answer is this, which is promoting her new novel, right? If you got the question wrong, here's the reason why the answer is C. Right? In the passage, the person talks about all this stuff, right? The importance of love, all these emotions, all this stuff. But the main idea of this interview is basically she's trying to promote her new novel. Right? In the first sentence, it's already been said. In a recent interview, renowned author spoke about in her latest novel, Tangled Hearts. So Tangled Hearts is the title of the book, right? So if you got the first question wrong, the reason why is that you did not understand the difference between the main point and the sub point. So what do I mean by this? Usually in the Cambridge examinations, the speaker would try to say the main point first, followed by a sub point, right? So people often get tricked because they would think that because the speaker is talking about the importance of love and all this stuff, they would think that that's the main idea. But the whole point is that she's trying to basically promote and sell her book, right? She's trying to elaborate on the novel, right? She's trying to elaborate on the book, right? So the main point, right? This novel, this is the main point. Everything else below it is just a sub point. It's not the main idea. So this is why the C is the correct answer, promoting her new novel, right? Right. The second question, according to Khan, what is not always true about love? It requires effort from both partners, brings only happiness and joy, it can inspire personal growth, it involves open and honest communication. So make sure to, when you look at the question, remember to underline not always true about love. Right? So the answer to question number 2 is that it brings only happiness and joy. Right? If you do this tactic, which I'm going to tell you, which is called elimination, right? This is a strategy used, when we are taught in Singapore in the Cambridge exams, is to use the process of elimination. Basically, it means that you try to eliminate the options that makes no sense at all, right? What is not always true about love? It requires effort from both partners, which is true, right? Both people need to put in effort, so this is true. So A is definitely out. D, let's take a look at D. It involves open and honest communication, which is true. So that's definitely out, right? It's either B or C, right? So the only thing that technically makes sense, which answers this part, not always true, is that it brings only happiness and joy, right? Which is definitely not true, because you will have arguments, you need to compromise here and there, which is exactly what that's a sub point, which is talking about compromise. So C, this is the part where it gets a bit complicated. This is talking about if you remember the last, previously I talked about the synonyms and the rephrase, the phrases and stuff. This is exactly the example. The phrase sunshine and roses is used to describe what? A challenging relationship, a picture-perfect romance, a lack of communication, the feeling of resentment. Right, so the answer to question number 3 is a picture-perfect romance. Right, it's basically a metaphor for an ideal, happy relationship. Right, so sometimes these are the more challenging questions. You need to infer what does this phrase mean in the passage, right? So where is this say love isn't always sunshine and roses, sometimes it's about compromise. You have to read this sentence, listen to this sentence carefully. Love isn't always sunshine and rainbows. So let's do the process of elimination. Love is not sunshine or rainbows, right? You imagine this, you put the word into the thing. Love is not a challenging relationship, right? That's definitely not true, right? Love is definitely challenging, so A is out. Let's take a look at C. Love is not a lack of communication. Literally makes no sense. Love is not the feeling of resentment. That also makes no sense. So the only thing that makes sense is love is not a picture perfect romance, right? Love is not a K-drama, right? Love is not like Korean drama, right? Like everything is like perfect, like there will be ups and downs, right? So love is not a picture perfect romance. So that's why the answer is B, right? So question number 4, what does Khan suggest can lead to the breakdown of a relationship? The answer to question number 4 is C, right? Question number 4 is C, and question number 5, the answer is also C, right? So let's go through 4 and 5. Basically, if you follow the points, you'll realize that the only answer is bottling up emotions. And why does Khan believe love stories are so popular? Because they showcase the power of true love and connection, right? Love stories mean that it shows, when you read the books, fiction books, it shows the power of love, and connection, right? So all of these questions you have to listen carefully from this very short passage, right? So the answer to number 6, right? What's the implied meaning, right? This is another tricky question. What is the implied meaning of meeting your partner halfway? Right, so the answer to number 6 is B, right? Finding a balance that works for the both of you. Right? So meeting your partner halfway, right? A is definitely wrong. Agreeing with everything your partner says, right, is 100%, right? So that's not 50%, so it's wrong. Right? Finding a balance that works for both of you, right? That's 50%. Prioritizing your own needs over your partner, that is not 100%, but it's more than 50%. So it's wrong, right? Avoiding difficult conversations, right? This is, you got 0%, the other person has 100%, so that means it's still wrong. So that's why the answer number 6 is B, right? For question number 7, the answer is B, realistic. So which word best describes Kant's overall view on love? Right? If you listen to the passage, you realize that pessimistic means that you're being negative, right? Pessimistic means you think that, oh my God, the whole world is going to die. You know, there's no hope. Pessimistic. Realistic means that it's basically like, yeah, the whole world is gonna die at some point. We are going to die at some point, but let's make the most out of it. Realistic. Superficial. Um, superficial meaning that is basically does not even make sense in this whole passage. To be honest with you, this word is it's not even applied in this whole passage. Overly sentimental. Sentimental meaning that is emotional. Uh, you know, Basically superficial is the opposite of realism, right? Overly sentimental means it's emotional, like it's a lot of sentiments, and yeah, it makes no sense. So the only answer is B, right? Realistic is literally a realistic advice. Right, question number 8, the answer is C, right? Knowing you are loved and accepted. Right? In the context of the passage, belonging refers to what? Right? Feeling financially secure, sense of community, love and acceptance, and sharing similar interests with your partner. So you have to listen to some of the words and the context, right? What do you mean by context? Context means that when you look at the word belonging, you have to look at the rest of the sentence with the word inside. Does that make any sense? I hope that makes some sense. So if the word belonging is in that sentence, you have to look at the entire sentence, not just the word itself. Right? Right. True love brings immense joy, support, and a sense of belonging. Right? So this is definitely not talking about financially secure. Right? There's no community in that thing. Right? There's no interest. So the only thing that makes sense is love and acceptance, right? Because it has the word love. Right? So this is the best answer inside. It has the word love inside. Right? So the belonging, that's where the answer to that is right. See, right? Number 9, the answer is that the general public interested in love, right? So the answer is D, right? What is the likely audience? So the target audience is basically to the general public. Remember, she's promoting a book, she's trying to sell a book, right? She's not trying to sell to writers. She's not trying to sell to experts in this, right? She's not trying to sell this to. Now, this is a tricky part. She's not trying to sell to the fans of Amar Khan's novels, right? Because if she tries to only sell to fans, that means she's trying to narrow a target audience, right? It makes no sense. You want to try to get more people to buy your book or your novel, right? So it's basically general. You're trying to keep it general, but the main topic is love, right? So that's why the answer is D, right? The general public who likes, is interested in love novel, right? This kind of thing, right? So that's why it's general public, right? It's not C, right? It's not C because there could be some fans that just want to read, action novels. They don't like love novel. They hate it, right? So they're trying to sell it to general public who is interested in love, right? So the last question, based on the passage, which statement will American most likely agree with? The answer is B. Communication is the key to a healthy relationships. This is basically the same process of elimination. The first one makes no sense. C is makes no sense either, honestly. And D, compromise is unnecessary in a strong relationship. So the only thing that makes sense in the passage and the answer is B, right? Communication is key. And yeah, that is the breakdown of the sample listening passage with the answers here, the answers. Right, I'll pause it here for a few seconds. Right, so if you want to try this out again, always go back to the video, rewind the video, and you can train yourself to listen to the passage and try to understand some of the key words mentioned in the passage. And yeah, that is all for MUET listening, the sample passage, right? Thank you so guys for watching and listening. If you find this helpful, make sure to share this with your friends who is going through this MUET listening exam, and make sure to subscribe because there will be more, and there will be an easy one and there will be a more difficult one, and that one I will try to make it as realistic as possible, but not exactly what you're tested in the MUET. It's just a training for you guys. uh, you know all of this is free. I you do not need to go for courses. Pay, I don't know how much of money to do this, or take classes to understand English. uh, yeah, you can always drop a comment. I'll reply to you guys and try to help you guys out. And yeah, that's about it, and I'll see you in the next video, which is the actual realistic one. Alright, see ya.